Skip my page here. 17, Coleman Monitoring Team. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, and please proceed with the presentation.
Good afternoon, member. Pam Allen, Director, Department of State Hospitals. With me is George Maynard, Deputy Director, and he will go ahead and present item number 17.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, members of the committee and staff. Thank you for giving us this opportunity this morning or this afternoon. The proposal today, DSH is requesting $867,000 in general fund revenue for 4 positions to establish an internal DSH Coleman monitoring team for the implementation of the court and the special master's recommendations to improve inpatient care for Coleman patients that are treated within the Department of State Hospitals. As DSH has moved into the 3rd year of active Coleman monitoring, it has become evident that there is a need for dedicated staff resources to adequately support the DSH workload that is involved in the monitoring process. Since the initial 2013 site monitoring and subsequent report to the court in 2014, the scope of monitoring has increased from one psychiatric program focus review to a full program and systems review of all the DSH programs treating Coleman patients for CDCR. So much similar to the longstanding monitoring requirements for CDCR, the DSH monitoring now has evolved to include a significant amount of clinical case review, treatment planning, outcome analysis, evaluation and monitoring of custodial, housing, and continuum of care criteria, and a very detailed and extensive data collection and reporting to the court. In addition to the ongoing workload with this monitoring, with the recent execution of a new MOU with CDCR developed under the oversight of the Coleman Court, there's increased requirements for utilization management, least restrictive environment placement for the Coleman patients, and coordination of complex medical care and patient discharge and parole coordination. So similarly to the teams that the CDCR has developed over time in working with the Coleman Court, the makeup of the team is in line with the peer review or the peer connection to the positions that the Coleman Special Master uses during the monitoring process. In this case, the psychiatrist, psychologist, supervising RN, and an attorney 3. And so our goal is to have this team integrate very closely with the state hospitals, treating the Coleman patients, the CDCR mental health team, and the Attorney General's office. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Is there any other comment? Any comment from the public? Any other steps for the closure of this item? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next item is issue number 18, Napa State Hospital, 60-bed expansion. And again, please, for the record, your introduction as well as your presentation.
Good afternoon. Pam Allen, Director, Department of State Hospitals. And with me is, you didn't introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. Stephanie Clendenin, Chief Deputy Director for the Department of State Hospitals. We are requesting $12,857,000 and 113.8 positions in the budget year and $15.1 million ongoing. This is to activate 60 forensic beds at Napa State Hospital beginning September 1st, 2016. With the activation of these 60 beds, we plan to shift 50 long-term geropsychiatric not guilty by reason of insanity patients and mentally disordered offenders to these new units, which would allow us then to increase bed capacity for our not guilty by reason of insanity patients by 10. And then the vacated units will be backfilled by 50 incompetent to stand trial patients from our wait list. Currently, our pending placements for the ISTs is at 446. In order to prepare the new units for the geropsychiatric patients, we will absorb approximately $250,000 in one-time costs in the current year to prepare the units for the patients, and will include such work as installation of handrails throughout the unit. In 2015-16, we activated 105 hospital beds and 108 beds located in county jails. Despite these efforts, the referrals of ISTs from the counties for treatment has continued to grow, and we continue to have a wait list. Thus, we are requesting authority to activate the beds to address the wait list. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Jonathan Peterson with the Legislative Analyst's Office. As the department mentioned, there is a wait list currently for incompetent to stand trial patients of about 450 people, and the May revision makes a few different expansions to capacity, which total about 100 beds for incompetent to stand trial patients. Given the size of this wait list, it appears that additional capacity to serve these IST patients is necessary. However, we note that this additional capacity will not completely eliminate the wait list. In addition, according to the department, the activation of the additional beds, both at Napa State Hospital and Metropolitan State Hospital, will result in the department not having any other capacity available for additional expansion within state hospitals until the completion of a capital outlay project at Metropolitan State Hospital in 2018, meaning that in the short term, the state hospitals will have to rely on jail-based competency treatment programs or other methods yet to be devised in order to satisfy additional capacity needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further legislative comment? Seeing none, public comment?
Mr. Chair and members, Kobe Pizzati with the California Association of Psychiatric Technicians. We support the department's efforts to alleviate the waiting list in the county jails. Furthermore, I'd like to add that with the closing of Sonoma Developmental Center so closely to Napa State Hospital, roughly two-thirds of these 113 positions, 113.8 positions, will probably be direct level of care positions. We're losing about 450 psych techs out of Sonoma Developmental Center. This increase in positions at the state hospital will allow for a softer landing from that closure. I think Assembly Members Dodd and Senator McGuire would probably echo some of the things that I'm saying here, as they've been fighting the closure very hard and have been really trying to find ways so the closure does not economically impact that region. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Selena Pryor with SEIU Local 1000, and we are also supportive of the proposal, but we do have a concern with regards to recruitment and retention and how the department is going to recruit new staff, and if they're unable to do that, how that impacts current staff there. So we just want to point that out, and thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Mr. Chairman, Brian Lundgren. And father of a son who's currently committed in Napa State Hospital, and we strongly support DSH's funding request, and here's a real life reason why. My son is a not guilty by reason of insanity commitment to Napa State, where he's been since '08. He's suffered from mental illness since his mid-teens and has been involved in incidents which resulted in numerous hospitalizations over 25, 5150s, etc. Prior to entering Napa State, he was in county jail for 8 months, awaiting trial. And finally, after 3 months, an NGI plea was agreed to. He wasn't assigned to Napa at that time until nearly 5 months later. He stayed in county jail during those 5 months and decompensated significantly. We had to actually file writ of habeas corpus for the court to force the state to actually get a bed for him. During his time in county jail, he probably reached his lowest mental and physical capacity. As well, after my son had been committed and has been in Napa State for over 2 years, he had a court-required 1602 evaluation appearance at a county within a 90-minute drive from Napa State. While at his court hearing, which lasted just about 30 minutes, the hospital was forced to actually give his bed away. It was only because my son called from the county jail that we became aware of that, and the only reason he became aware of it is because a jail deputy actually told him that he stayed in county jail for quite a while because they gave up his bed. He had to stay in county jail for almost 2 more weeks after that 1602 hearing before he was transported back to Napa. While in jail at that time, he decompensated due to not receiving the appropriate treatment. And when he finally returned to Napa State, again, he was worse mentally and physically than he was after he left Napa State. In fact, it's only at Napa State that he's received the most appropriate and best care. The government, particularly this state, feel has a stated responsibility to help those who cannot help themselves, especially those who are mentally ill and suffer from serious and long-term psychiatric ailments. So I respectfully ask you to fully fund, if not increase, DSH's budget request in order to help alleviate the detrimental bed space issue within our state budgets, and so those who suffer the worst and can't help themselves can actually get the appropriate treatment. Thanks for your consideration.
Thank you for your personal story that helps illuminate this issue. It's much appreciated. Is there any further comment? Seeing that, that moves us on to the next issue. Item number 19. Napa State Hospital Forensic Patient Increased Trailer Bill. Please introduce yourselves again for the record and proceed with your presentation.
Pam Allen, Director, Department of State Hospitals.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Stephanie Clendenin, Chief Deputy Director for the Department of State Hospitals. In conjunction with activating the 60 forensic beds at Napa State Hospital, we are requesting trailer bill language to amend Welfare and Institution Code 7200.06. This section currently caps the number of beds that can be filled with forensic patients at 980. It also requires that 20% of licensed beds be available for civil commitments. In activating the 60 forensic beds, if filled, we would exceed the statutory cap. Since the pending admissions to the state hospitals can vary significantly between commitment types, we are requesting to eliminate the population limits in the statute and permit flexibility to the hospital to determine which patients can be admitted and placed in the beds at the hospitals.
Any legislative comment? Seeing none, any public comment? Please.
Kobe Bazzato with the California Association of Psychiatric Technicians. Again, we just support this expansion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Seeing no further public comment, we'll go ahead and proceed with the next issue. Issue number 20, Metropolitan State Hospital 36-bed expansion. And again, go ahead.
Pam Allen, Director, Department of State Hospitals.
Stephanie Clendenin, Chief Deputy Director, Department of State Hospitals. We are requesting $5,277,000 in general fund and $2,262,000 in reimbursements and 61.7 positions to activate 36 beds at Metropolitan State Hospital. These beds would be used to house Lanterman Petrus Short patients or LPS patients, which are our civilly committed patients. These patients are housed outside the secure treatment area at our at our Metropolitan State Hospital. Of these 36 beds, we will transfer 25 LPS patients from DSH Patton State Hospital to the Metropolitan State Hospital. The 25 beds at Patton will then be backfilled with incompetent to stand trial patients, again from the wait list, which is currently at 446 as of May 9th. The remaining 11 LPS beds will be admitted from the pending placement list, and as of May 9th, we had a pending placement list of 56 for our Lanterman Petrus Short patients. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any legislative comment?
Jonathan Peterson with the Legislative Analyst's Office. As we mentioned in the previous capacity expansion proposal for Napa State Hospital, this capacity increase appears to be necessary to address the current IST and LPS waitlist. We note that there will continue to be a waitlist for these beds after these expansions are activated, and other capacity increases will likely be needed in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further legislative comment? Public comment.
Once again, Kobe Passati with the California Association of Psychiatric Technicians. As I said before, for Napa, same goes true with Metropolitan State Hospital being so close to Fairview Developmental Center. Fairview is also closing in 2021. Therefore, Again, about 2/3 of these 61 positions will roughly be direct level of care positions. Therefore, more people from Fairview will have an opportunity to have a job closer to home in their region. Also, again, the IST problem has been something that's been ongoing. We would certainly hope that a longer-term fix is in the works going forward in the future of maybe creating an additional state hospital, but that's not this issue. So I'll just put it in your guys' as a seed for something to think about. We support this proposal.
Thank you for thinking about the future. Please go ahead, proceed.
Selena Pryor with SEIU Local 1000, and I just wanted to reiterate my comments that we would hope the department would take into consideration the impact that not having a retention or recruitment plan has on the staff, the current staff that's there with respect to overtime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes public comment, and we'll go ahead and move on to issue number 21. Jail-based restoration of competency program expansion. Please, introductions and your presentation.
Hi, Matt Garber, Department of State Hospitals.
Stephanie Clendenin, Chief Deputy Director, Department of State Hospitals. We are requesting $2,736,000 in general fund to activate approximately 25 additional jail-based competency treatment beds upon county approval and notification to the legislature. We are also requesting one senior psychologist position to serve as the assistant chief psychologist to monitor and evaluate the existing jail-based competency treatment programs. We currently operate 148 jail-based competency treatment beds in Riverside, San Bernardino, and Sacramento counties. We continue to experience, as we mentioned before, an increase in referrals from the counties to DSH for treatment. And despite our increased bed capacity efforts, both in the state hospital and our jail-based competency treatment programs, we continue to have an ongoing wait list. We are in conversations with a number of counties to serve as either feeder counties to existing programs or to operate additional programs. We continue negotiations for the 10 beds proposed in the governor's budget, and this proposal is in addition to those beds. The May revision proposal also includes provisional budget language. This is to set aside a total of $4,025,000 for the governor's budget and May revision proposals. This will provide Department of Finance the authority to authorize the funding with a 10-day notification to the legislature, and once we have completed contract negotiations and obtained county approval of the contract. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Legislative staff questions?
Jonathan Peterson with the Legislative Analyst's Office. Given the current wait list and the fact that in the past we have found the jail-based competency treatment programs offered to be a cost-effective way to deliver services to IST patients, we don't raise concerns with the governor's proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Any public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to issue number 22. Conditional Release Program, Transitional Housing. Please, go ahead.
Yes, Matt Garber, Department of State Hospitals.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie Clendenin, Chief Deputy Director, Department of State Hospitals. We are requesting $1,586,000 in general fund for our conditional release program. This is to provide funding to activate an additional 26 statewide transitional residential program beds, which I'm going to refer to from this point forward as STRP beds. The conditional release program provides community treatment and supervision of individuals who have been released from the state hospital by a court on a conditional basis. The STRP beds provide patients with the opportunity to learn and demonstrate appropriate community living skills in a controlled setting with 24-hour, 7-day supervision while they transition from a state hospital setting to a community site. The STRP beds also provide patients who are conditionally released in the community and living within the community who then experience difficulties adjusting or decompensate, and it gives them a place to step back into without having to be rehospitalized, having difficulty apparently. The Conrad program currently has one transitional care facility with 17 beds in Los Angeles County, which operates at a maximum capacity. As such, the Conrad-ready patients who are in need of transitional assistance must wait for an available bed and be transported to Southern California. Currently, the wait list for our STRP beds is over 60 days, and there are approximately 75 patients in the state hospitals pending placement in the community that could benefit from these beds. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any legislative staff comment? Any member comment? Public comment? Please come forward.
Mr. Chairman, Member Brian Lundgren, a father of a son at Napa State Hospital. CONRAP is an extremely, extremely important program. In fact, I could probably make a case for double the funding request, but that's not my bailiwick. But it does give hope to those folks within and behind the fences at our state hospitals that there is a possibility, there is possible freedom, and there's a possible prayer out there for them. So strongly support this request. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll go ahead and move to item number 23. Napa State Hospital earthquake repairs. And if you can just go ahead and make sure to introduce yourself for the record and go ahead and proceed with the presentation.
Good afternoon, Stephanie Clendenin, Chief Deputy Director, Department of State Hospitals.
Lupe Alonso Diaz, Deputy Director of Administration. Good afternoon, members, staff. This request is for a reduction, which you don't hear of often. So it's a reduction from $5.725 million in current year to $4.736 million in fiscal year 16-17. And it's to reflect a current year expenditure of $989,000. This expenditure reflects the funding to design to fund design costs for 3 historical buildings. So by way of background, the 2015 Budget Act approved $22.9 million and within that $5.7 million in general fund for repairs to DSH Napa, specifically resulting from the 2014 South Napa earthquake. The $5.7 million general fund reflects the state's required match of 25% for the FEMA grant. The remaining balance of the $5.7 million is carried over each year until all the funds are expended.
Thank you very much. Any legislative comment? Any member comment, questions? Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to the next item. Metropolitan bed expansion, working drawings of reapportion.
Thank you. Stephanie Clendenin, Chief Deputy Director, Department of State Hospitals. We are requesting a technical adjustment to reappropriate $1,706,000 in general fund in the budget year for working drawings for the project to increase secure bed capacity at Metropolitan State Hospital. The 2015-16 Budget Act appropriated $3.6 million in funding for preliminary plans and working drawings for this project to increase the secure bed capacity at this hospital by constructing 16-foot high fences around our continuing treatment west building, the skilled nursing facility, and the park that is adjacent to the continuing treatment west building. The project also included perimeter roads for fire access, replacement of parking that is displaced by the construction of the fence and access roads, and construction of restroom facilities in the park. The preliminary plans are completed but are pending approval until the CEQA process is complete, which we expect to file the notice of a determination with the state clearinghouse on June 21st, and then the 30-day statute of limitation will expire after the end of the fiscal year. The Public Works Board will not be able to approve the preliminary plans for this project until after the statutory timeline has passed, which would be too late to encumber the working drawings appropriation for the next phase in the current year. We continue to experience a significant increase, as we've mentioned, in our incompetence to stand trial wait list, and we need to continue to pursue capacity solutions in order to meet this increasing demand for services. Reappropriation of the working drawings funding will allow DSH to complete the CEQA process, obtain preliminary plans approval, and begin working drawings in July of 2016.
Thank you very much. Is there any legislative staff comment?
Jonathan Peterson with the Legislative Analyst's Office. We were just made aware of this proposal yesterday. However, it appears technical in nature, as mentioned, to allow for the working drawings to be completed in the 2016-17 fiscal year rather than the 2015-16 fiscal year as originally planned. And it is our understanding that this change is not expected to result in any significant project delays.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Any member comment or question? Any public comment? Please proceed.
Mr. Chair and members, once again, Kobe Pizzati with the California Association of Psychiatric Technicians. We support this proposal, of course, because it does help with the expansion of the forensic capacity of the facility. Furthermore, we can't afford to delay the project any further with so many people on a wait list, and that wait list increasing day after day, month by month. We absolutely must get this project going now. So the faster we can do that, the better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any further public comment? Well, with that, it looks like we've concluded our agenda here with item 24 being the last. And so our next meeting will be tomorrow, Wednesday, May 18th, returning at 10 a.m. With that, we go ahead and adjourn the session.